How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Spider, and we got Mickey in the background, my kitty, and in this video we're going to be breaking down JJDL week number 3. This week we're going up against It's Whatever and the Sacramento Nidokings. He has a team of Latias, Meowscarada, Infernape, Petruant, Rotom, Wash, Tinglu, Cinccino, Tinkaton, Bastiodon, and Glalie. His Tera captains are Latias and Bastiodon. I actually think these are really good Tera captains. Obviously, Tera Latias is a problem because it's just really good. You can Tera, if you can Tera Latias into any type, it makes it pretty difficult to set up to deal with as a setup threat. You know, it can run Calm Mind and Recover. It could run Choice Scarf and hit really hard. It could do a bunch of things. So it is 20 points, which to me makes a lot of sense. But he's also got a pretty good secondary Tera option in Bastiodon. I know he did bring it in week 2, but that video hasn't gone up, so I'm not sure if he Tera'd Latias or Bastiodon. Bastiodon is a very good Tera captain because it's only 5 points, and its stats are, it's kind of like a mini Stack Attacker, Steel Rock type, but if you change his typing and he starts setting up with Iron Defense Body Press, that is really tough to deal with. So he definitely got our work cut out for us this week. I toyed around with a few different sets on several Pokemon. I actually didn't really know what my last slot was going to be for a while, but you know, this is the team I'm going to rock out with, and it covers a lot of things, but it doesn't cover everything. So you know, at some point it just becomes a guessing game. First up, we've got the beautiful shiny Longclaw Sneasler with a Citrus Berry. Our moves are Swords Dance, Taunt, Night Slash, and Close Combat. With the Unburden ability, we're going to double our speed if our Citrus Berry gets procced, which is really good. We have 176 EVs in HP, max attack with Adamant nature, 4 EVs in defense, and 76 in the speed. So with that speed, we are always going to outspeed a Rotom Wash that is speed creeping a Gholdengo. There really isn't much beside, well, there actually is a lot, but I figured if I get the Unburden boost, I don't really need all that speed. I'd rather invest in the bulk so I can live a lot of hits. Of course, if he brings Choice Scarf and Infernape, he'll outspeed me anyway. If he has a Tidy Up on Cinccino already, he'll outspeed me. So, you know, and Latias is probably going to run defensive anyway. And if it's not defensive, it's probably Choice Scarf. Those are the two situations I've encountered in mocks. Speaking of Latias, I am preparing for 2 different Tera types. It's either going to be Poison or Steel in my opinion. I don't think it's anything else. So you could just run Calm Mind, Recover 2 attacks. Those 2 attacks would probably be Dragon Pulse and Shadow Ball, just because Sylveon doesn't really threaten him, and he needs the Shadow Ball coverage for Gholdengo. Hydreigon can also set up Nasty Plots, which is why I don't think he'll do Shadow Ball plus Psychic Stab. I think he needs to be able to hit Gholdengo and Hydreigon the most. So I know that's a kind of a side tangent, but those are the 2 potential Latiases that I'm expecting. But this set is mainly just for the Petruant switching. If he does bring Petruant, which I think is a great bring against Sneasler, it'll probably be either Helmet or Colbur Berry. But if he brings that in, I can taunt, or I can Swords Dance, and then I can taunt so that he can't haze me, he can't Parting Shot. Really all he can do is just, he can't recover. Really all he can do is just attack me with a Shadow Ball. And if he's uninvested, he will bring me down to a Citrus Berry after 2 hits. And after 2, you know, I'll get up to 75%. I can take another one, so a +6 with the Unburden boost. I mean, nothing takes hits. He just has to hope that I don't have rocks up at that point, and have something with Focus Sash, because you know, nothing's outspeeding me and nothing's taking a hit. The Citrus Berry is just nice because it gives me extra health, and so that I don't have to worry about certain priority. So Meowscarada can run Sucker Punch, Infernape can run Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave. Those are the 2 options for priority. You know, I want the Citrus Berry for that extra round of Shadow Balls that I have to take, so that I can live any priority that wants to come my way afterwards. Next up, we've got an interesting set. Shout out to Brian, BGC0. This is him right here. Mamoswine with the Likey Berry, Thick Fat. The EVs are going to be 40 HP, 252 attack with the Adamant nature, and 216 speed. So after 1 Trailblaze, we will always outspeed a Meowscarada, speed creeping a max speed Sneasler. So essentially, he's always going to bring Rotom in on this, I think. I mean, even if he predicts Freeze Dry, it's just really not doing that much. So I'll Trailblaze on that switch in. If he's defensive, he takes it just fine, but I'm hoping to have a chip on it by the time I bring this Mamoswine in. If I can 2-hit KO Rotom, that's beautiful. Hoping he's not Scarfed and then he tricks me at Choice Scarf, that would also suck. But if he's not Scarfed, he will probably try to Will-O-Wisp me after the Trailblaze. I'll outspeed him no matter what, as long as he's not Choice Scarfed. And I can get a substitute off in place of that Will-O-Wisp, assuming I've already Terraslized in a Ghost. and once I'm at +2 speed, nothing outspeeds me. Even as Choice Scarf Meowscarada, as long as it's not like max speed Choice Scarf Meowscarada, nothing's gonna outspeed me, and we can kind of take advantage of certain things. So if we substitute down to like 1% HP, Reversal just goes insane. Reversal is really there so that I don't get checked by a Tera Latias, because otherwise it resists the ice type stab and it's immune to the ground type stab. If it is Tera Poison, Reversal still does a good chunk as long as he's not completely physically defensive. Earthquake hits everything else really hard, to be honest, outside of I guess Meowscarada, but Reversal does hit Meowscarada. Like I said, his only priority, we're excluding Glalie here, his only priority is going to be Sucker Punch Meowscarada and Mach Punch / Vacuum Wave Infernape. I think the priority on Infernape is a lot more likely than Sucker Punch Meowscarada, which is why we're Tera Ghost. Tera Ghost will make us immune to that move. A defensive Tinglu takes the Reversal pretty damn well, so that is also a Pokemon that we will have to make sure we trip a little bit. It could also be a Chople Tinglu to deal better with Sneasler. Next up, we've got Bright Roar, the Gholdengo. This is pretty much just a safety pin Pokemon. It's really good against Latios. I keep saying Latios. It's really good against Latias because he's got to run Shadow Ball for it, and if he doesn't, we're in a great position. With the Colbur Berry, we're able to take the knockoff from Meowscarada and not be scared of that. We can also take the knockoff from Tinkaton, but it's really not for that. It's mainly it's also nice because Cinccino, if Cinccino gets a tidy up, it goes crazy against my team. So that's why the Colbur Berry is there, because the Cinccino can't really hit Gholdengo past the knockoff. So as far as the moves, we have Make It Rain, Thunder Wave, Shadow Ball, and Recover. Pretty standard stuff. I don't really see myself setting up with Gholdengo in this game. As far as the EVs, we have max HP, 8 defense, 116 special attack, 40 special defense, and 96 speed. The 116 special attack with the modest nature allows us to always OHKO a Cinccino from full health if he has 40 EVs in HP. So assuming the Cinccino is going to speed creep the Espeon, he'll have 40 EVs left over. If he puts all of those into HP, we'll always OHKO him with Make It Rain as long as we're not -1 already. If a move's so obvious, I feel like that's okay. Like, let Tinglu come in on this, and I can just predict that. Obviously, he has other things, but it's really going to be Tinglu, right? And even if he switches in and he's like physically defensive, Make It Rain does good enough damage to where it's worth taking that damage and then getting out of there. Again, just a safety pin Pokemon for the Cinccino, for the Meowscarada. Next up, we do have the team mascot, Oathkeeper, the Gliscor. We are just a physically defensive set. I feel like this Pokemon may not be needed. It may be very useless, but it's very important to have some sort of pivot into certain Pokemon, like the Tinkaton, like the Infernape, like the Tinglu. It's just not good against Meowscarada and Cinccino. They both get triple axle. It's not good against Latias. I do have Taunt, but it does get Ice Beam. If it doesn't bring Ice Beam, it's still kind of a losing battle for me. So my moves are Taunt, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, U-Turn. With the Toxic Orb, I feel like in all my mocks, I've been able to get my Toxic Orb procced. It's relatively easy against this team, I think. Taunt is really nice because it helps to stop rocks from going up against a Bastiodon, a Tinglu, a Tinkaton. It can help stop, Petulant from parting shotting around or something, whatever. Latias cannot set up on me or recover, and then I can U-turn if it doesn't really hit me very hard initially. I can do that. With that, Earthquake will hit Infernape, which is pretty much why it's there. It'll threaten Tinkaton. It'll threaten Bastiodon if it is not Terra. It'll threaten Petulant. I don't know why he isn't flying. I mean, it's a ground flying type, but it's interesting why the sprite is just sitting there. I usually see it kind of floating around. That's random, but anyway. And last thing, I don't want to run Spikes because Spikes don't hit Rotom Wash and Latias. That's pretty much why. All right, we've got Red Rain, the Electrode, shiny. I really like the shiny, so that's why. Obviously, it's not red anymore, so Red Rain doesn't make much sense, but it is what it is. We have leftovers with Taunt, Volt Switch, Giga Drain, and Leech Seed. A very similar set to last week. I just like the utility it gives. I'm very fast, obviously, and I can taunt things to stop a lot of things on this team, which is great. I am 20 speed with a timid nature. That's the same speed tier as Mamoswine after a Trailblaze. So, except I don't have to Trailblaze, right? The rest is just an HP and defense because it seems pretty physical, and I want to be able to take hits a little bit better from like a Tinglu. I don't need to take hits any better from Rotom. It's already doing no damage. It helps against Cinccino, helps against Meowscarada, helps against Tinkaton. So as far as, you know, Volt Switch, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, it's just pretty good against this team. It's nice for chipping down Tinglu. I don't even want to tell you how much Tinglu takes from a Giga Drain if it's specially defensive. It's so pitiful. But the thing is, I get like just as much health back, even with running max HP. If he's max HP, I get so much health back from Giga Drain. I get a lot back from Leech Seed. Meowscarada, it could switch in potentially on a Leech Seed, but if I call that and go for Volt Switch, I'm golden. Last but not least, we have the Shiny Dawn. I didn't bring it last week, which I heavily regretted, so we're bringing it back here. I did have Scarfed Hydreigon with Dark Pulse, Earth Power, Taunt, and U-Turn, which was working pretty well in mocks. But once I changed to the Mamoswine set, I figured that this Espeon makes a lot of sense because I needed a Choice Scarfer, right? And I think if I lead with this, I'm Tera Fairy, but I'm probably not going to be terastallizing this Pokemon. I want to hit Latias on the physical side, Future Sight, because Future Sight's cool, and Trick to stop things from, you know, setting up stuff on me and being annoying that way. So this Pokemon's really here because if he brings Tera Poison Latias, I have a really tough time breaking through that if it's like a defensive set. This Espeon is obviously here to stop that. Even if it's physically defensive, it's probably clicking Calm Mind in that case, in which case I want to be able to Psyshock it. I could also trick it, but I probably force it out if it's already Terra'd. And if he goes, you know, Tinglu, I mean, I guess tricking that would be nice, but I want to hold on to my Choice Scarf if possible. I probably lead with this Pokemon if I see Meowscarada, which, I mean, I probably will see Meowscarada, and he can't set up Hazard. So I really struggle with Hazards because, you know, I have no removal on this team outside of Magic Bounce, if you count that. So I lead with this Pokemon. He'll know I'm Tera Fairy because of their Terra preview, and he's probably not going to go straight out for knockoff because, you know, I could just Tera Fairy and knock him out. So I pretty much force out Meowscarada there, even though I probably won't Terra, but I don't think he can take that risk. I don't think he knockoffs turn one. I don't see Espeon having a huge game here, but because that Tinglu is going to be annoying, and if it's not Tera Poison Latias, it's slightly useless against that Pokemon, but you know, it's kind of necessary. It's one of those Pokemon, like, you don't think it's going to do good, but it's necessary. And that's how I feel about Gliscor. It's how I feel about Gholdengo. It's really going to be these two. These two are the stars of the show. Hopefully, the game plan is to get things chipped enough, keep Hazards off my side of the field, chip his teams down with Hazards and really these 4 Pokemon, and then kind of go crazy with one of these two, just kind of depending on, you know, how the battle's unfolding. So with all that being said, I'm going to cut to the battle right here, and I will see you guys there. Alright, here we are in the battle going up against It's Whatever. Let's see what he brings here. Alright, I considered making changes, but then my mock went really well, so I didn't. Okay, so he did bring Latias. No Infernape, which is actually not that bad for me. I think what we are going to do is just go with the Espeon lead. For some reason, I'm really nervous about this one. But yeah. So he is Tera Poison on the Latias, which is kind of what it was either Tera Poison or Tera Steel, I figured. It would only be Tera Steel if he was Chople Berry, so he's not Chople, obviously. So I figured if he brings Petron, he wouldn't be Tera Poison Latias, but I guess I was wrong. Alright, good luck, have fun to Antonio, aka It's Whatever. Let's pull up Espeon on the calc here, hit the Quan. That's Tink, so... I really don't... He might Stealth Rock, he might also just not. I also have nothing to hit this thing with, so I think I do have to just switch. If he does click Knockoff, that's also pretty annoying if I bring in Gliscor. I think because there's no Infernape, Gliscor's a little bit less useful here, so we're gonna bring in Gliscor. We do have a pinch of speed just in case he's trying to speed creep me with this thing, so we'll see what he goes for here. Yeah, he doesn't click Knockoff, unfortunately. Those are pretty free, actually. I could also Taunt to make sure he doesn't get up his own. Taunt's probably a little bit safer, just because it covers for certain things he wants to do. He could also get up his own rocks, which I wouldn't really appreciate. He clicks Swords Dance. Okay. That's really cool. So we'll click taunt here. So we can't click that again. If he's +2, does he knock me out with an Ice Hammer? Yes, 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 he does. And it should knock us out here. I will just go for Stealth Rock though. Does he really have Ice Hammer? He does. Okay, so well played. I mean, I can't prep for a fucking offensive Tinkaton of all things, so it just is what it is. What do we really do here? That's the question. Yeah, we're in quite the pickle here. Quite the pickle indeed. I think I honestly just have to go Bright Roar. And I know he's going to knock me off, but at least I can make it rain and do some sort of damage. I do have decent investment here. Now let's make it rain. In case he goes Tinglu, I want to be able to... Okay, he just stays in. That makes sense. Do a little bit. do a little bit. Oh, he's got Air Balloon. I didn't even notice. Okay, I'm definitely glad I didn't go Mamoswine then. So we pop his Air Balloon. He's going to knock off. That does just about how much I expected. Maybe a little bit more. I don't think another knockoff actually kills us, so we're going to make it rain again, I believe. This is not how I expected this game to go so far. Forever. I would assume he just brings in Ting. Yeah, that's what I would do. Jesus. It's not going well. Oh boy. Could go Dawn and then trick him so that we can get some sort of momentum that way. So yeah, I guess we just do that. I just really don't want to let spikes go up because damn, I wish I wasn't Tera Ghost on Mamoswine because it didn't even bring Infernape. Yeah, he's just gonna Earthquake. He gets a crit, that probably matters. Yeah, that definitely matters, unless he's like max attack adamant. Even then, it's a roll in my favor, so that crit I'm gonna assume fucking matters, but what can you do? Whatever. Oh boy. I'm gonna Trailblaze on the Rotom. So that actually did kind of a lot. If he's not Scarfed though, we're in a decent position here. Really just depends if he's Scarfed. It doesn't really matter if I'm Terra'd or not, so I think I'm gonna save that and just substitute and hope he's not Scarfed. Okay, so we don't see a Scarf. He does Willow. That's pretty ideal. A crit would be pretty cool. But I don't get it. Does connect there. So unfortunately at this point I don't really have hazards up. There's really no way I can't sweep, right? Fuck it. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here. Maybe we just let it ride and hope he misses one. He could miss a Hydro, so that would be pretty cool. Watch him have Sucker on Meow. Because he doesn't know. I'm just going to Trailblaze at the end of this. He doesn't know I don't have ice coverage. He does miss one. Okay. So that's fine. Okay. Let's Trailblaze. Knock this Pokemon out. His brother's gone. Oh boy. Hit the Quan. Comes in. Well, you don't outspeed me, brother. So I'm just going to Earthquake. Obviously, I'm carrying Earthquake. Okay, so he's scouting for Earthquake, I guess. Milkshake is going to be the Latias, right? Okay. So, I don't really think I should reversal. It's just not going to do much. Let's Trailblaze. He sets up a Calm Mind. I'm just done. He's going to Terra Poison. So yeah, I just realized I could have even just like Terra Blast with Terra Ghost would have been great. Oh boy, this is a terrible set to bring, I'm gonna be honest. If you just call mines, I think it's probably over. He goes Alluring Voice. I live on 6. Oh, but I'm confused because of the fucking Trailblaze. God damn it. I'm not expecting... I mean, I would expect him to be if he's Terra Poison. So... Yes! We got it off. Big bang. Boom. Ha-boom! Damn. She did crazy damage. It's going to allure me again. So, +1 reversal. It should have done less than that if he was defensive. I could also just go Red Rain here and taunt. I think that's what I will do. Because again, I'm not unburdened with Sneasler, so if he is max speed, he can just outspeed me and kill Sneasler, and then I just lose. So I kind of have to do this, unfortunately. And seeing as how he took that much from reversal, he definitely could have a lot of speed. Alluring Voice, so that means this Latias, I would think, is just here to try to beat Sneasler. I'm going to taunt so he can't recover. He may have Terra Blast. He does recover, okay. But if I Volt Switch, I could get in Gholdengo pretty easily, I think. We're going to Volt Switch into... Ah, he stayed in. Damn, I should have leech cheated then. Unless he went for Terra Blast, and then I just look like a genius. Mist Ball. That did damage. Wow. Well, this is going to do even less then. I don't think he keeps this thing around. He does. Huh. Interesting. This thing is lasting forever. That was at -1. I mean, it still did... I mean, it didn't do a lot, but like... He wasn't at full. I'd say that's like 20%. He might be physically defensive. I definitely think he's something like 100 in split F and then 156 in defense, something like that. Does Electrode take 2? Well, I mean, it definitely does have the Giga Train recovery. Trying to get this thing in. Earthquake goes off. That doesn't do that much. I kind of just want to Volt Switch, to be honest. I don't think he stays in. I love to predict the Meowscarada. Does Gholdengo take a knockoff? I mean, I doubt it. Alright, we're gonna make the ballsy play here. It's W-Mans. He brings in this thing. Okay. So I could bring in Sneasler. He can't take... fuck. He can't... Gigaton twice, and if he's not max attack, I may be able to live a Gigaton into an Ice Hammer, which is the best he can do. Whereas, yeah, like if I go Gholdengo, if I go Gholdengo, he can swap into Make It Rain. He can swap into Tinglu very easily. I could just CC, but I'm gonna Swords Dance. You might go Pecharunt here and try to Haze. I think it gets Haze. Starship, that's definitely Pecharunt. So, I guess... Oh, it doesn't get Haze, I'm just dumb. He could Parting Shot. It could Memento. Memento could be quite tough. So, I think I do just want to taunt it. Because as long as it's not like really offensive, Shadow Balls should not be that bad against me. Yeah, so. Okay, just go straight for the Shadow Ball. It's a bit annoying. At +4, I don't knock him out. So if I go Swords Dance here into a Shadow Ball, yeah, I'm gonna Night Slash. I mean, I wish I just Night Slashed it. Okay, he's not actually. He's not Colbert. He is Rocky. That's what I figured. He's not Colbert, he's Rocky. So we're gonna take that. We're gonna pop the Citrus. He gets a Spit F drop. I don't think that matters. The only thing that's gonna stop us here is a Sash Meowscarada. Or a Sucker Punch Meowscarada. So we're gonna Night Slash again. But we're gonna get a kill here. And we're gonna be quite low because of the Rocky Helmet. What are we at, 115? Something like that? Oh boy. Okay, I guess we're not gonna see. Yeah, that's Meow. Fuck. Sucker should not kill, so it's really up to if he has Sash or not. If he has Sash, he can win. Yeah. Unless he's banded or he's just strong, I don't know. We're gonna CC here.